So, no, I'm not dead, nor have I given up on podcasting. Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel, and welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast number 274. This is the one about surviving an Inosanto Academy event. As you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you're catching a simulcast over on the YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. So I spent last week, for those of you who are in the know, I was in Marina Del Rey at Sifu Dan's 4-day mixed Silat camp. And I'm happy to report. I mean, I hadn't been out to LA in about 2 years. I was there in 2021. But I'm happy to report that for a man approaching his 87th birthday, he is still firing on all cylinders, and that's really fantastic to see. So those of you who may have been putting off the opportunity to go catch Dan Inosanto in person, it's probably better to do it sooner rather than later, right? Although I figure he's going to be doing this for a long time. Anyhow, that's not the point of today's broadcast. Some qualifications here. My first camp with Dan Inosanto was in 1983, July of 1983. And almost immediately I realized that I was going to have to develop some kind of what I call a seminar language in order to keep up with what was going on. So today, as someone who's been on the receiving end of Inosanto seminar instruction for 4 decades, I'm in a fairly good position to provide a few tips to veterans like me and to people who may now only be just coming onto the Inosanto seminar scene. So in case anybody says, well, Dwight, that's all well and good, but this is the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast. What does that have to do with Penjak Silat? So I'm going to show you something. Let me give it a second to upload here. Let me show you this. So go to first edition, I believe, of the Tao of Jeet Kune, and you look at page 88, and that's where you'll see this illustration about ground fighting and what have you. And so I got the source of this from Joseph Powell, and some of you will know Joseph Powell. He's the guy who, way before anybody else, back in the 1980s, he was the one who first spoke to me about tracking down the sources for the Tao of Jeet Kune. And so Joe shows where the ground fighting illustrations are taken from, I think it's Howard Alexander, Quentin Chambers, and Don Drager's book on Penjak Silat. So when you hear Dan Inosanto say that that Bruce Lee was his introduction to Penjak Silat, it's verifiable. Bruce Lee himself made notes on Silat from that book. Okay, so that's why talking about Silat camp specifically, or Inosanto seminars in general, qualifies for the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast, right? So here's the thing, right? First things first. We've heard Dan Inosanto say, if you get the technique, you get one thing. If you get the principle behind the technique, then you get it all. And so one of the first things you want to do when he shows the drill is to immediately identify, for example, the combat distance at which you're starting. Are you in range? Are you on the rim of fire? Are you out of range? And then make sure that you make a note of what the attacking sequence is, because for very, very often in the old days, I'd end up making notes on the response, and I'd forget to include what the attacking sequence was. So you don't want to make that kind of elementary error. So what combat distance are we at? Make sure you write that down. And then what's the attacking method? Is it simple, direct, or simple angular? Attack by combination, progressive indirect, attack by drawing, immobilization, whatever. So you have to identify which of the 5 ways of attack, or even a combination of the 5 ways of attack might be being used. And then conversely, you need to identify what method of counteroffense is also being used, because you don't want to have just one side of the equation, right? So by a quick observation of the principle behind the technique sequence, it'll make it easier and probably even make it faster for you to now write out what the actual techniques are. So when I talk about the principle behind the technique, I'm not necessarily saying that you have to write that down. I'm saying that if you go into the seminar intending to initially and immediately observe what the guiding principle is, then that over time will probably make it easier and faster for you in making your actual notes, right? So let me finish up with this. When it comes to the actual note taking about techniques, this is my simple solution, my seminar language. I write out the attack, and then I'll use the conjunction to, TO, if the attack is followed by another attacking move. Then, in writing out the response, I'll use the conjunction versus, or VS, to identify what the response is. So a notebook entry could look something like lead hook kick to lead straight punch. So that would be a 2-hit combination. Lead hook kick to lead straight punch. That's the attack. And then the conjunction versus would be inserted. And that would say quick retreat to pak da gua choi. So you'd have lead hook kick followed by lead straight punch. What's the response against the lead hook? Quick retreat, footwork. And then the response against the lead punch is the pak da gua choi. And so you'd be able to write that out. Now, me, instead of writing lead hook kick, I would now write LHK, because I know what that, in my language, I know what that abbreviation stands for, right? When we're doing stuff that involves the knee or the elbow, EL is, or ELB is elbow, KN is knee, and I can recognize that. So as you spend more time in something like this, you'll develop your own shorthand within your shorthand, right? Now, granted, this becomes more difficult if we're looking at more complex technique sequences, but I still believe that if, again, initially and quickly identifying stage of combat, method of offense, counter offense, all of that can combine can be the ultimate antidote to seminar note taking exhaustion. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. Have any of you out there developed your own seminar language, or for taking notes and making sense of seminar notes and what have you? Let me know in the comments below. That's all I got to say about this video. If you can hear it, that weather change in California did not do my nose and throat very well. So I'm going to make this as short as I can. Let me know what you think. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods, on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods, at paypal.me/unifiedma Miami. That's where you can find the Jeet Kune Journey Volume 1, paypal.me/unifiedma Miami. You can also show support over on the Jeet Kune Dialogues YouTube channel. Just click the join button over there, and that's where you'll see the different levels of YouTube membership. Go to jkdrebel.com, click on the Rebel Gear link, and that's where you'll see stuff like this, the JKD Notables coffee mug. This is also available not just as a utensil, but in clothing. jkdrebel.com, click on the Rebel Gear link. Coming up in about 2 hours and 49 minutes at 6 p.m. We'll be doing part 2 of the Jeet Kune dialogues with Maestro Ramon Martinez and Joseph Powell, the aforementioned Joseph Powell. So we're going to be talking some more about fencing and JKD, and that'll be at 6 p.m. So you guys go take a quick nap, get some coffee or something, and come right back. Okay. Today is a red day. With this new camera, I might have to adjust the settings. I no longer have to get up for you to see. Well, actually, I do, so you can see the full notation here, right? But yeah, today's a red day. So that's it. Come back in about 3 hours, and we'll do this all over again. This is Dwight Woods, the JKD Rebels, signing off. You guys have a good one. Take care. Talk soon.